Hello friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. My channel is all about balcony gardening with succulents and cacti and house plants. Today we are going to be transplanting some cacti. These two Opuntias right here need a place of their own. They're getting a little crowded in one pot. And this one here, this mammillaria, is leaning over. It's top heavy on this little pot, so I need to repot that. I also recently took some cuttings from this peanut cactus here, and I need to pot those up. I've set them out on the balcony for a couple of days, and it looks like they're pretty well dried over. They can definitely go into some dry soil, along with this beautiful Chinese Evergreen Cutlass. It's going to go into this beautiful pot. For this mammillaria, I'm going to put it into this 5-inch pot, just a little bit bigger, and I think that will give it some support. And then in the pot that I take that out of, I'm going to put these cuttings in. They're just about calloused over, but I'm going to be putting them in very dry soil, and I'm not going to be watering these for at least a week. With my succulent and cacti cuttings, when I put them into soil, after they've calloused over, I still wait at least 7 days before I water them. The soil I'm going to be using is this succulent soil that I put perlite in, and it has a little bit of grit as far as small pebbles in it. So it'll be nice and free draining for this cacti and the cuttings. First, take off the rocks that I had put in it for some support, and I do use this kitchen thong to help me balance the cacti, and so I don't have to touch it or wear gloves. I do use a coffee filter also to place over the hole, and I find that that works really well as far as keeping the soil in, because the holes down at the bottom of these terracotta pots can be very big. And then just holding that mammillaria, and it just pops right out, making a little bit of a mess. But it's dry. I left it dry on purpose because I knew I was going to be repotting it. Now I'm not going to mess too much with the roots. They are in really good condition. This mammillaria originally was a clearance find. It's got a little bit of a wonky shape to it because it was denied some sun, but it's growing really well now that it's getting some morning sun. And just put some soil around the edge here to secure it. These tongs really work well. I just got them right out of my kitchen drawer, and I use those on all of my cacti. A few rocks here to hold it in place, and it's ready to go. Now for these cuttings, I put some soil in, leaving about a 2-inch gap from the top of the pot, because since these cuttings do not have any type of roots, I need to kind of pot them a little bit further down. So I'm making some holes, putting them in there, and then filling it up with more soil, and that will help keep them in there. But I am going to be placing some rocks in here to keep it steady also, so they don't pop out. And like I said, I'm not going to water these for at least a week. Give them some time to get acclimated, and then I'll start watering them. They will be in shade until then. I won't put them in direct sun because I don't want to stress them out anymore. And now to remove these two Opuntias. These tongs also work well to get rocks out of these tight spaces without getting poked. This pad here, this Opuntia pad, I believe it's a prickly pear pad, and I almost lost it last year before potting it up in this container. You can see some of the damage from when I almost lost it. Now this here is an Opuntia Nebraska orange. It hasn't bloomed for me in a couple of years, so I'm hoping this year that since it's put off so many new shoots, so many new pads, that it'll bloom for me this year. Just removing some of the soil at the bottom there. And here I want to make sure that I don't pot it up too low or too high. I want to make sure that I match the soil line that it had before. This pot is perfect size for this Opuntia. Put some rocks in it to stabilize it, and it's good to go. And now we're going to do the Opuntia prickly pear. I'm going to keep the same soil line just like the other Opuntia. And this pad here was given to me as just a cutting. It didn't have any root system at all. And now it's got a great root system and giving off new pads too. Finally, we're going to do this Aglaonema Cutlass or Chinese Evergreen Cutlass. I've had this one for a while in this nursery pot, but as you can see, the roots are even coming up off the top. When I water it, the soil is dry very soon after. I'm going to repot it into this mix here of potting soil, some mulch, orchid bark, perlite, and some worm castings, and into this beautiful blue pot too. Comes out easily. I haven't watered it in a couple of days, but look at those roots. That's why it was needing water so much. It was already root bound and definitely ready to be repotted. So I'm going to take off some of the soil. Don't want to disturb the roots too much. Want to keep them healthy. I don't want to break any of them, but I do want to get as much of this old soil off of it as I can. Just going to tickle the roots a little bit here, spread them out a little so they'll start growing out. And start placing soil in the container. Want to make sure that I don't pot it too low, but definitely cover those roots on top. Leave about an inch from the top, and then just start placing soil all around. I really love these aglaonemas. They are such wonderful plants, so hardy and very easy to care for. Just make sure that I have soil all around and it's even. I'll go ahead and water this one right away. With these tropical plants, I can go ahead and water right away. Well, that's all the repotting I have for today, friends. The Aglaonema Cutlass is all settled in there in the entryway, and so are the Opuntias out here on the balcony. They're just loving all the new space that they have in their new pots. And this mammillaria too. Hopefully it'll kind of straighten out there. But if you enjoyed this video, friends, please do give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do consider subscribing. I do lots of videos on cacti and balcony gardening and houseplants and how to style houseplants in an apartment setting. Thanks so much, friends, for your support today. Appreciate you. Have a blessed day.